Creo que da, ¿no?
Good morning, everyone.
Hello there.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Thelma, Rob.
Morning, Gogo.
So we had a conversation with Zoe before. Mirna, Vanya, good morning to both of you. Wow,
Morning,
Mirna,
Zoe.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Thelma.
you have
Morning,
yeah, okay,
everyone.
okay. That's the picture. Hi. So we see quite a we see quite a few new people. At least three of you are new to Oxinity. We are going to wait a few minutes, so more people from the group join us, and then I would like all of you to tell us a few words about yourselves. Okay, like what what background do you have in teaching and so on and so on. Um, briefly speaking about the agenda of today's talk, it will be focused on how we teach grammar with our content, with our online content, which we create ourselves as a collaborative work, which also has reasons, and we are going to look at those reasons as well in a few minutes. Now, um, while others join us, we had this kind of well, not tradition, but we like to have a good laugh. I think all of us. So, anyone has a good joke, perhaps? Newcomers, Mirna, Telma, Vanya, are you joke tellers? You have some off the top of your head? No, mm, that's all right. I have this pretty bad one here. Like, um, what that here comes our a joke like the
Oh, I
joke
haven't
guy.
prepared a joke. Here we
Yeah,
go.
that's the best one actually so far for
That's the
today.
best. Yeah, yeah. Just kidding. No.
What did
What
what
was?
did one
Oh,
ocean say to another ocean? What did one ocean say to another ocean?
Is it something like I can't see or something?
Nah, nothing. It just waved.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's ride the waves.
So yeah, okay. As I said, a bad one. Yeah, okay. And there was this. Oh yeah, this. I was looking at these jokes like 5 minutes before the whole thing started, right? So sorry for actually reading them. But did you hear about the new restaurant on the moon? What did people tell you about it?
Yeah, terrible. No atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Yeah. Good one. Okay. Now we are getting the group gets bigger and bigger. I can see that, and people are joining. So all the teachers and those who are not new, today we have 3 new people joining us, at least for today, and we will see how it goes and how they like it and so on. Mirna, Thelma, and Vanya. So let's go in order of like in an alphabetical order. Mirna, good morning. Could you please tell us a few words about yourself? For example, do you have any experience in teaching? How did you find the Soxenity and such things?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Gergo. I am qualified to teach online, TEFL, TESOL. I have a 250-hour diploma, and then I'm also qualified to prep people for IELTS. And I've been teaching online for almost 2 years now. So that's my background.
Oh, okay. And any other education related background? So before you started teaching English?
No, not with. I was in the business world, so I was a executive assistant, and so that's basically my history. Is I can teach business English at the drop of a hat. So
that's what I wanted to ask. So can you capitalize on actually on having this experience in the world of
sure.
finance? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't finance. It was information technology communication.
Okay, even better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mirna, welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thelma, a few words from you as well, if you may.
Hello everyone, I'm from India.
Thelma, we can't really hear you. Maybe you need to come a little closer to the microphone.
Now?
A little better. Maybe if you could hold the microphone closer to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Hello everyone, I'm Thelma and I'm from India. I have about 10 years of classroom teaching experience. I have a TESOL certification and I've been teaching grades 1 to 10. And besides this, I have 2 bachelor degrees and 2 master's degree. Bachelor's degree in arts and in education, and master's degree in English, literature, and geography.
Wow, I think this is something what we could call overqualified for an online English teacher. Okay, that sounds great. And if I understood it well, your previous or your teaching experience is in in-person classrooms, right? So.
You're right.
Okay. And what do you expect from the change from going from offline to online? What do you expect from this, if I may ask?
It's a totally different atmosphere where I used to teach about average 50 students at a time. So they're handling the discipline or to get into the pace. It's totally different effort. Here it's I think much relaxed, where we are just getting 3, 4, or single one-to-one. It's more better, and I think it's more easier, and the outcome is more.
Okay. Now about the relaxed part, I have to tell you that we conduct mainly 30 minutes classes, and they are everything but relaxed when it comes to the pace, because it's actually about being very dynamic. However, it's compared to sitting in a classroom with 15, 20, 25 kids, it's much more relaxed. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, Thelma, thanks. Cool. welcome. Good morning. And Vanya, please, if you could tell us a few words about yourself.
So I'm from Australia, but living in India at the moment. We've just moved here. My husband is doing business here at the moment.
Mhm.
Most of my teaching English experience has been in China. We lived there for 7 years. So I taught for about 6 years of that time, teaching English. So I've got the TEFL qualifications, both the online and the in-person workshops. We did also some education qualifications as well. Most of our teaching in China was children, young, fun, all in classroom, except through the pandemic. We were there through that. So we did a lot online then, but we knew the children by then because we'd already had in person with them. So yeah, it was great.
And you taught for a primary school or a secondary school or a language school, language academy, or how?
It was a language academy for most of the time.
Okay.
Back then, it has changed a lot in China now, but back then everyone learns English. All the children from the age of 3, 2.5, sometimes 3. All the way up. So you can teach all the levels. There's adult classes a lot, of course, but we didn't do that much of them. We did a tiny bit of business English for some executives there, but not a lot.
And if I may ask, what's changed? As you mentioned, that it's changed. So now kids are not so focused on learning English, or?
Yeah, that was, I don't know, the political system. That was the government that changed that. Probably 2000 and when was the law? There was a law that passed in 2022 when we were still there, actually, or 21.
And it's banned English teaching, or what do you mean?
No, they shut down loads of schools. So almost all schools teaching English that weren't actually at like school. So the academies, the training schools all were shut down, even the really big ones as well, which was quite a shock. We think that they would get shut down. Yeah, overnight, things like that happen all the time there. So English just took a turn. I mean, they're still there, but it's not as prominent.
Okay, interesting. Thanks to the policies of the United States. I hope I'm not I mean, like, being offensive to anyone with this, but on the other hand, I don't know if you experienced this, but Chinese applications and platforms teaching English, they are our competitors, I have to say, because they are thriving and recruiting teachers as well. Okay, good. Now, thanks once again to all three of you, Mirna, Thelma, and Vanya, for the introduction. Welcome all three of you to Auxinity and to your first Friday talk. So, briefly, the Friday talks are about the group, this collaborative group of teachers coming together and discuss certain topics. And today, as I mentioned, we are going to focus on teaching. We call them structure, but teaching grammar with our application, and more closely how we present grammar with our tailor-made content, or the content what we teachers create ourselves. Okay, now before going to look at a few examples and talking in depth about teaching grammar, last week we did talk about why do we do the activities ourselves. Who can remember what was the reason behind this? Why don't we just use copy paste? Why don't we just browse the net, take all the material what we can find, put it on a slide and show it to the students? There were 3 important things mentioned. Rob, go ahead, please.
Yoga, I think it was to do with the material being authentic, which encourages a feeling of trust. So you're trusting the company that's giving you a lesson.
1, very important. Okay, very good. Thank you, Rob. Catherine.
It was also the focus is on listening and speaking. So materials tailored to student needs and focusing also on what students don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. This is what you just mentioned, Catherine. Thanks. It's a little broader than just the structure activities. All our activities are built on this philosophy, on this idea what you just mentioned.
Yeah, having a structure scaffolding and making it more organic with pictures and texts.
Okay, that's the layout. All right, very good. So now as a little help, so we go a little faster. I don't know if you remember Jonathan, who's not yet here, I think, or yeah, no, he is. So what he mentioned, that the original thought behind creating these activities was that the teachers in this community, in this group, they share their knowledge and expertise. And this is how we grow, and this is how we improve as teachers, and this is how we improve our product as well itself. And regarding the authenticity, it's very important, yes, that we don't show things that students can find anyway on the internet, but we create that material so it looks like we actually put effort into it. And also by doing so, we are able to visually show the way how we think about using grammar and teaching grammar, and what the students should focus on when they are improving their English, which is, in a very simple sentence, we teach functions in context. We don't teach rules. Of course, the rules are there. Of course, we share the rules if they are needed, or if they increase the, or not increase, but if they boost the learning curve of the students. But the main goal, the objective, is that the students learn when to use these structures and how to use them properly. That's the idea behind teaching structure or teaching grammar with Oxinity, at Oxinity, with the Oxinity platform and at Oxinity. Okay, good, very good. So teaching functions in context. How is this different compared to traditional teaching? Thelma, for example, when you hear this, teaching functions in context, what do you think of this statement?
Yeah. Yesterday was my first class. It was my first experience online. And it was so rapid. I had to complete it so fast. My eyes were, I even tried to see the timer and to see, am I completing it within the 10 minutes? It was so fast. And, you know, I had gone through the materials, but still I had to recall the questions fast and quick, and it was really rapid. It was like begin and then end.
Like a snap of a finger, you could say.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this is something that it comes especially with the 30 minutes classes, but the teaching of functions is it goes back to a kind of idea of having a like a natural way of learning. If you think about how kids learn their first language, they don't well, after a certain level of age, and depending on the language, I must say, you might start learning rules, right, when it comes to syntax or other things, but otherwise you don't learn the rules of your language, your mother tongue. You just pick it up. And this is what we want to emulate in this with this platform and with our teaching approach. And for this approach, we need to have the kind of activities and the kind of material which we are creating. Right. A part of this system is that we create these activities. The activities are being created for the past 12, 13 years, and all the activities that that has been created so far are in the system because they fit in a syllabus, which syllabus starts in September and ends in mid-July. Therefore, we have an immense amount of old activities, and these old activities are still used by the system. Now, to update them and to improve them, or to have them up to date, let's put it this way, we need to improve them. And for this, we have a system, and that system is the complementary works, which is an option to teachers should they want to contribute. Is when you get a class cancelled before less than 1 hour. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Someone's saying something. Okay. No. Okay. Sorry. So, if your class gets cancelled within a 1 hour time frame before the starting, you can get a complementary work, and that is an activity which you need to improve. Now, there are certain standards to improving these activities, and it's very important to understand that by following these instructions and meeting these standards, you're contributing to the work of each and every teacher on the platform, and you are contributing to the learning curve of each and every student we have. So it's very important that all of us do the same quality work when we are correcting these complementary works. Okay. So, well, let's look at a few of these. Let's look at a few of these activities which we've been working on together. On Wednesdays and on Thursdays, we have a workshop, both of which are 1 hour workshops. They are in your calendars, and you can join these workshops to join the work and to find the best ways to present various grammar structures, parts of grammar, how to make it look nicer, which is also very important because our platform does not allow us to use our cursor, meaning you cannot point at any part of the screen. The students will not see that. So the attachments need to be built in a way that it drives the attention of the students, clearly showing where to look first, where to look second, and so on and so on, together with headings, colors, and pictures alike. Okay. We are focusing today on structure activities, but yesterday we worked on a topic one, which was a special topic. I don't know, Mark, if you have this ready to be shared.
Yeah, I saved it. Hang on.
That's cool. That's cool. So what we are going to look at is an activity which we worked on as a group yesterday in one of these workshops. And let's see. I don't know, Mark, if you remember how to look at the before and after, right?
I'm not sure how to do that.
No, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. So this is the activity what we worked on yesterday. Now,
finished it, so
cool. So this is a few words for the new teachers before we look into the attachments. Mark, if you could use please your cursor of your mouse and point at the next to the flag. You can see the Union Jack on the left side, the flag. Yeah, exactly. So next to that you see a letter and a number. That's the level of the activity. It follows the CEFR grading system, which means that, thanks Mark, which means that it starts from S1 and finishes with C1, but we have a different wording. So we instead of A1, it's S1, and then it turns into P2 and it goes up to P5, which would be which is the C1 level. Now, the adult is the age group. So we have 3 of them. We have kids, teens, and adults. So you need to work accordingly whenever you are creating, correcting, or even using an activity, right? The system is not perfect. It might happen that you have a class with kids and you receive an activity which is meant for adults. So you need to be aware that some material are not adequate for students, or they will not understand the content simply. Right. Okay. Mark, can you please open intro? First attachment. Okay. If you scroll up. Yeah, and if you look at the top left corner or the left corner, you can see old versions. Can you see that?
Top left.
Left. Old version. Well, not exactly top, but the top
Old
of
versions. It's just come up.
Yeah, if you click on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can see
the picture there. I just did that just now.
And then you can look at the previous versions. You see?
How do you do that?
At
You
the
click
bottom.
on the number?
No. It's at the bottom left. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So here you can click on a few. I don't know how long it goes back. We have 7 different versions. So actually, we would like to see what's
That's the original version.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how Mark received this activity. The intro was nothing but this sentence. So what he did was adding a picture with a supposedly Peter picking pickled peppers picking something from the ground, and adding a heading and he added a heading or a title as well. You don't need to go through everything. If you click on the right side,
text is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Go ahead, Mark. What were your ideas when you changed this? So what did you think of?
Well, I just thought, I mean, I don't think there were any instructions. So I can't remember. I can go back, of course, and see if there were any instructions for, let's see.
No, not on the number. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that was what it was.
Yeah, and look at the difference, right? The instruction is there, but the teachers tab is the help for the teachers. So what we would like to have is a unified look, which really helps the teachers, everyone, even new ones. Even if you have you have 2-3 minutes to prepare for the class because you have an additional class, a substitution. So it needs to be visually clear for the teacher what to do. And what Mark did, eventually, I think it was the 4th one, no, Mark? Yeah, this, look, read text, get students to read text first at normal speed, then quickly. Something that you would do with the tongue twisters. And some additional information about PAC. Right, because like myself, I wasn't sure what PAC meant actually, to be honest, right? So it's good. The thing is that what this does, it helps the teacher have a peace of mind going into the class. Okay, I know what the text is about. I can answer the questions of my students. I know what to do with with this short tongue twister with the students, and it helps the workflow. It helps you keep the class flow, which is very important when you only have 30 minutes. And imagine the 30 minutes you need to divide for 3 students. That would leave you with 10 minutes for each student. So we need to keep these things in mind. Shall we look at the second one? Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's amazing. You'd be surprised at what the original was. Hang on.
Let's surprise ourselves.
These are all right. This is. Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the original one. That was clear. And
that's the
so
original one had a whole load of new vocabulary, much higher vocabulary than the level. It was too long, so I put that into ChatGPT and asked them to condense it to 150 words. And then I think I played with it and, got a few new words there. Kept some of those, but not all of them. Again, some of them weren't there when it was kind of edited. So it's the same story basically, but some of the words, like garnered, that's a fairly hot word, a hot minute,
Yeah.
So I just have that.
It's very important what Mark pointed out here is that
these were all these are the words in capitals. We don't do that anymore. The new words in capitals, they would be in red, and the normal case, the lowercase letters, and then that's the new version. And then I think I might have changed some things. I don't know.
Now, as we all see that the length of the text is much shorter, which is also important, and we need to keep in mind that for a 30 minutes class, we wouldn't like to have. It's like 150 words plus minus 20, 25, let's say. We can't see it now because Mark is not editing, but on the bottom right corner there is a word count. So when you open the text editor, there is a word count added, and you will be able to see the actual length of the text. Obviously, if you are working on an activity which is about the SWOT analysis of the electronic devices of 2024, for example, so it's very specific business-related topic, then the text might be a little lengthier, because that activity will only be used with P5 business in business classes, and that means that those people who come to those classes, they need to have the skill to skim read. They should have that skill. But back to this, something which Mark mentioned, and it's very important, and that's why we looked at the P4 before getting into the attachments. P4 equals to B2 on a CEFR grid, meaning we need to have vocabulary that is adequate for this level, and one way to work it is with Mark. If you click on on the right, top right, you see a big X in a red box.
Yes.
If you click on that, it jumps back to your version. Yeah.
It goes back to the funny one, right? Okay, didn't know that.
And
then the last one I did, there were tongue twisters. I changed a lot of these, so there were tongue twisters there. I kept a couple of them in, but I changed other ones. There were some well-known ones, and I kept a couple of the original ones in, and I thought these were better. They had more alliteration in them.
Oh yeah, no alliteration, right? That is something which is mentioned in the text itself as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As I remember. Now, also something that we were still, or we are still working on is, for example, the layout, which is neat in this way. And yesterday we had a short discussion about how to arrange it, but text like this, when you have numbered sentences, examples, and so on, it's best to keep them in a box, because that aligns the entire text in the middle of the screen, which on my behalf, I think it looks nicer. We don't all agree with this sentiment, I must say. Now, still the thing what I started to talk about, to talk about the P4, P5, and all these things. So it's important that the material which we create, it is on the level of it's prepared for the level of the students. And when you have a text which you need to know whether it's good for that level or not, there are applications, online free applications that do which do this job for you. For example, the GSE toolkit, and others. We have a list of these. Should you need them, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. For example, you can use ChatGPT, as Mark mentioned. You need to with the ChatGPT, you need to know what keywords to use to make the algorithm work for you. That's an important part with all AI, right? So make sure that you mention that CEFR level 2 for level B2, for example. So ChatGPT will know that it has to follow the CEFR grid, and the B2 level it needs to be on. So these things need to be mentioned when you are working with these, or you make these algorithms work for you. I think that's a better way of saying it. Okay, good. Now, Mark, thanks very much for this little presentation. Before you stop sharing, does anyone have any questions about what we have just seen? New teachers, old teachers, any suggestions, ideas, anything that you don't like, don't understand, don't want to see, anything you miss? No. Okay, good. Mark, thanks very much once again.
Okay, that's good. I had to add some things to the at the bottom with the target language. There wasn't much there, and half of it was they didn't have a picture, it didn't have a sound file or whatever. So I put those ones in.
You really put a lot of effort.
And some of them were new words. Yeah.
You really put a lot of effort in correcting this. We need to keep in mind that as well, that the time what you spend on the corrections, right? You get compensated for the 30 minutes class. So the amount of work what you are going to put into it needs to follow that line, right? Because sometimes teachers, especially in the past, they had this kind of trouble of, okay, but it takes so much time to actually make a nice activity. And because of that, we came up with a system of compartmentalizing this process of corrections. So what you are going to focus on are separate attachments, and you need to do these attachments correctly, because each activity is built from one, and so on, and so one being the introduction in each. So that's perhaps the least important. So the focus starts always on the second attachment, which we will see present when it comes to structures and vocabulary, or the text itself when it comes to the topics. Mark, before you send it, after the FT, I'll send you a checklist which you can paste into the notes section. Okay, the new checklist, and you can add that, and then it's fine. And thanks very much for the work. Before you stop sharing, 2 people are raising their hands, so let's see if they have something to add to this. Jonathan first, number 1. I think you were the first, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I wanted to say, to take the chance to say, great job. You too, Mark and Gergo. Amazing. That was it.
Well, thanks, but there were more people yesterday. So everything what we see on the screen is it started with Mark, and the majority of the work is his. But there were, I think, Georgina, Josie, Zoe, Chris, and other people adding into the to the whole equation. So
I stand it to everyone. I mean, it's an amazing job. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Jonathan. And round of applause for us. Let's put it this way. Yeah, good one. Rob, you want to add something as well before we go on?
Gergo, my question's about navigation. With the screen you've got open at the moment, can the student see that page? How do we get to it?
No.
Is this a teacher's page?
Yes. So what you see here for the new teachers, especially, but for you, Rob, as well. This is the activity sheet, which is for the teachers. The students can't see it. The flashcards on the bottom, they can access those flashcards. That's why we have them in the application. Okay. So the original idea of our application is that we provide the students with the possibility of previewing and reviewing the material before entering the class and after leaving the class. So this is something that they are going to see a definition, an example, an image, and they will be able to listen to the target language, the vocabulary. What they can see like when they access the activities through the application are the students tabs. So the students tabs in each attachment is what's visible for the students in the class and before and after the class as well. Plus these, all the rest is for the teachers. All the rest is for the teachers. Catherine, please.
Thanks. Is it possible to see or to get an idea of what the students actually see on their screens? Like how it differs from what we're seeing.
Yes. Well, you can ask Zendesk to make a print screen or a print screen, a screenshot for you.
Through so we know.
That's a possibility. Yes.
Yeah,
it just needs to be for one activity because it doesn't have to be for all of them. It's just an example.
Thanks, Jonathan. So he might be ready with this today, or he's going to send it later. I'm not sure, but
no, I'll try to get like a student or something so I can show it. When I have it ready, I'll let you know.
Cool. Thank you very much. Mari Carmen, you raised your hand because I guess you wanted to add something to this.
No, I don't know if Catherine meant what during the class, what they literally see, or when they come back to the app, what they can see.
I think it's the classroom.
I didn't know about the cursor. So, I mean, I've just found that out. So, I mean, it hasn't really come up, but I didn't know that the students can't see the cursor. So I'm wondering what the students can see. And sometimes it seems that what they're seeing is in a slightly different format. I'm not sure. It might. I haven't taught that. I've taught classes, but I mean, it's only come up once or twice. So I'm just asking if there is a way to see it.
Yeah.
Actually,
so
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mari. No, Mari Carmen, go ahead because you work with the Zendesk more closely than I do.
No, I don't know if I'm answering Catherine's, but during the class, what you know that the students see is what appears in the middle part. That's literally what they see during the class. But students can take a look at the material before and after the class, which I'm not sure if that is what Jonathan is preparing at the moment.
I think he's preparing about
when they go in their app. If Jonathan is going to show it, it's going to be much easier. But when they go in their app, they can see the material that they're going to see during the class, which at the end of the day is exactly what you see in the central part of the class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Now I have a little.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little addition to this. So sometimes there is a problem with the HTML code, which can or might cause a difference between what you see as a teacher and what the students see on their screens. It might happen. Unfortunately, the problem is being looked into. The actual or the issue is being looked into. The problem has not been found yet. So, because there is, for example, a teacher who we are not going to name now, but unfortunately, lately, the activities from them are we teachers, we see the text on our screen, but the students can't see the text. And we looked into the HTML code. There is nothing in that, so we don't know why that happens. We don't understand it really. Unfortunately, that's what we have now. Really, that's because you can look at the HTML code of the text, each text what you are posting, but there is nothing in it which would indicate that it should be different than compared to what we see in the screen. So there might be these bugs. Not seeing the cursor, yes, that's not possible in our application, because you are not sharing an entire screen. You are sharing an audio video connection, and the middle part of the screen you can see what's sent to them, because it's actually what happens is that there is a file that is shared on the screen of the students and on your screen as well. That's the idea behind it. Why do we do it this way? Because it's much less data that is sent, so that allows the class to use less data exchange, which makes it possible, for instance, the application to be used from less advanced devices. That's why it's developed also on Google Chrome. Jonathan, please.
Yeah, let me share the screen so you can watch.
Mark, thanks.
I'll stop sharing. Hang on.
Let me see if I can. Anyway, I'll share my whole screen. Do you see it?
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. So you see now, like this class, right? So this is what student would see if they go to the app, right? So I'll show you around. So here's like the target language that you were talking about, and then all the attachments that you have prepared. But this is only on the student side, right? So you don't see all the explanations for the teachers and anything, but they see what you've created so they can follow through all the things that you've been explaining in the class. So in this case, they have like these 3 activities. Okay, so these are the target language, and they would be able to go and see the attachments that you're using in a class. Okay, so this would be, and then if they want to go to previous classes, they would have the option to go and click whatever, and they would be able to go and see what you've been doing in the class. So this is what they see. And just to be aware, so whenever they need to go to the class itself, they click here, and then there's a button. Okay, so they click here, and then they would appear into the class. Okay, that's as easy as this. Then the smiley thing that we always talk about is it's a little game that whatever you're teaching, okay, then they can go and practice themselves with some exercises, and all these questions are going to be related to the previous classes. So you have a vocab activities, or for instance apple pie, and you would have let's see if there's, okay, Chinese, I don't know, maybe this one. Oh, this is all vocab. Geography, teacher. Okay, whatever. There should be more than vocab, but in this case, I don't know why. It's everything. It's in. Okay, for instance, this one here. Okay, so it was not fresh, right? So So there are like structures, there are vocab activities, and there are some grammar activities or multiple choice questions and stuff like that. Okay. Now, and what else do they see? Okay, so here are all the schedules for people to go and choose their classes. Okay, so if they want to get like this one, so they would here and accept, and then they would be able to go to this class. They can fix it for a regular basis, like every week or something, or it could be only one at a time. Then the information that I'm not going to show, and if you want to get in contact with people. Yes,
Jonathan, could you please show the cancellation as well? How they cancel the class themselves?
Yeah, the problem is that this is real. So if I go and choose one, and then the student will say what's going on. So I'm not going to do it. So the only thing that I can say is that, okay, yeah,
click
I
on
could
it.
do it. I'm not going to do it. But if you go here, you can cancel, or you can cancel all Thursdays, or you can cancel only this one. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do it, but so you can see it. And this is pretty much everything. Any questions, or do you want me to go or explain something else?
Anyone? No.
Okay, excellent.
Georgina, you raised your hand in the.
I have a I have a student account, and I open it up just to look at the app, what it looks like, how it works.
Oh, okay.
So it helps. Yeah, it's something we suggested time ago. I mean, there's no problem in opening up an account and just fiddling around with it, understanding it. Sometimes I do book a class and cancel it just to see how it works. It'll help everyone. And I sometimes take little videos and I show them to the leads, for example. So that's a good option, I think.
Don't we have it? I mean, like I do. I have it from the very beginning. Maybe because I also did the TEFL course.
But I think the thing is, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think if you're registered on Oxinity, you can access both, depending if you go from appoxinity.com or from iAmOxinity.
Yeah,
but you have a
think
user
so
there.
too.
But
yeah,
for me not to get like all confused on the phone, I have the student, and the computer, I have the teacher one. And I have two different accounts. Just no.
Okay,
Actually, I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can set up an account like for us being a student. So the only thing that you have to do is go to oxinity.com and register if you were a student, right? Then you will be asked what level do you want, or what level do you have. So just pick up one, right? And then you'll be able to browse the application and everything. So you'll learn how it works. Just tell the IT, tell support not to call you after you register or something. It's going to be a little mess there, but anyway.
Yeah.
Also, can I say that please use if you do open an app, as if you were a student, please use a different email than the one you used for your platform, iAmOxinity. Don't use the same email in order to not interfere.
Okay.
The system.
Okay. So practical things a lot. Thanks very much for everyone, because what Jonathan showed, I'm afraid that is often overlooked by teachers, that part of our platform, but it's actually there. And also, if you go to the Oxinity webpage, and if you look at the business proposal, in that business proposal, we say that for the price of half an hour, you get 1 hour, half an hour with the teacher, half an hour with the application. So actually in our business proposal, everything what we have just seen is there. And this is what gives us the opportunity to keep our prices low, because the students do need to pay a teacher for 1 hour of work, only for half an hour of work, but they are able to work for 1 hour, 30 minutes on their own, 30 minutes with the teachers. This is the business proposal. So for those teachers who would like to grow as partners, it's very important to keep in mind that these two things together, the dynamic 30 minutes classes and the daily work of 30 minutes with our application, that's that's how the acceleration of the learning happens, and it is pointed out on the web page. To be honest, I think we need to refurbish that a little bit, but it's there, and it's sad, and it's important that we keep it in mind when communicating with existing and with prospective clients, students, clients, yeah, customers. Sorry, not clients, customers. Rob.
Sorry,
please.
another question. I was told that we can do one topic, one structure, and one vocab. Pretty much try and cover 3 in a lesson. Is it possible that the student might get maybe 5 or 6 things in their front end, and they may be a bit disappointed that you never got through them more?
Now, this is something what we need to tell the students. That actually would be the work of the person who takes them on. I mean, like when you speak with your prospective client, then this is something you can say. You might forget about it, and then teachers need to tell the students this again. But like, it's kind of like imagine if sorry, imagine you taught from a textbook, right? The students should not expect you to cover each chapter. They should expect you teach them the content of the chapter. So if they only acquired 30% of a chapter, it doesn't matter whether you cover the entire chapter or not, right? You need to go back and cover the other 70%. So this is, if you get a question like this, Rob, then what we taught today is like, or the how to say, moral of the story is that the amount of activities attached to a class are following I mean, like, are in line with what the students need to learn next. But it doesn't mean that they will learn that in 30 minutes. It's there for you to work with, should they be able to consolidate everything. But and it's also for teachers, it's very important, new teachers and old teachers alike, that just because you have 6 activities in a class, and just because each activity has 4 or 5 attachments, it doesn't mean that you need to cover 24 attachments. It's not the goal. It's not the goal. The important part is that when you just a moment, Jonathan, when you went on with an activity and you finished the activity only until the half of it, in the sense of the students not having not consolidated the knowledge of that activity, then you give the red face because they didn't. Sure. And if you go through only 2 of the attachments and you feel like, okay, students know everything, green face, next activity, not wasting time. That's the policy. That's the way of working with this system. Jonathan, please. Again, we are not talking about structure today.
Sorry. No, more or less what you were saying, Rob. What we thought back in time was that if you only had like 3 activities and you would cover those activities very fast, then as a teacher it would feel like, okay, now what? Okay, so that's why we think that it's much better to have more activities for you, just in case. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you have to cover everything. It's like, yeah, it's 3 activities is fine, right? So, but if one of the activities you see that students already know, then you go for the next one, no problem. Okay, so and students have to be like. Yeah, don't worry about it, because the algorithm, the system would know what you know and what you don't know. So next class will be covered with all these things that you still are missing, right? So if we are not covering that activity, don't worry, because it will go to your next class. That's why it's so important to go and pass attendance and rate activities and say what we've done with those students so they can have like new classes. for them, shipped for them.
I was just confirming that they didn't have any expectations. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have the chance to talk to them, then you can explain, but they should know. They should know already.
And if they have the expectation, Rob, then it's our job as teachers to tell them otherwise. It's really then we need to tell what we were just talking about. That just because the teacher walks into the classroom with 3 textbooks, it doesn't mean that you are going to talk about all the 3 textbooks. It's the teacher's job to decide which to use. But it's a good question, Rob, especially for new teachers, because yeah, this might be something that the students did not hear, do not remember of, even though they heard about it. They will have different views of things. So we need to, from time to time, we need to tell again how our system works and why the system works this way. And this is why we have these talks on Fridays to lay these things out.
Actually, Gergo, let me say something, because the question was so important, because we are facing what other systems do, which is like, okay, for today I have to go and cover all these activities, right? So if I don't cover them, then we're not gonna cover any time else, right? So for me, it's a different approach that we have. It's that, okay, we're gonna see everything. So we plan this for today. We'll check if you know that stuff or not. And then if you don't know it, don't worry, because we'll go back again to it, right? So it's a completely different approach. So I understand that students are used to go and say, okay, if this is for today, we have to, or we need to cover everything. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to see it in the future, right? So we are changing mentality here. So it is important to explain to students, and we have to, and also teachers, to be aware that do not worry, the system knows exactly what the students know, and we're going to go and chase that. Okay, that's very important. So thank you, Rob.
Yes, thanks to both of you. And actually, how the system knows what to learn and what not to learn was the topic of today, but we talked about other very important stuff, so we postponed it again to next week. But before we leave, I would like to point out something that is also very important, is that we have the assistant button, right? It's for teachers to give you help when you have trouble in classes. You will have trouble in classes, and there will be the ladies there to help you with it. But remember that this starts 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. CET. So if you try to connect to this part of the platform before this time, don't expect an answer, because they have their own work schedules, the people who work there, so they start working at 8. If you have trouble, what I usually do, if I have some trouble with early classes, then I have my message ready and I write it on Google or whatever, and then I paste it into that little box. And when I see that they go online, I click the button send. This button, this green button, it says assistance, then there's no one. If it says chat, there are people behind the screen. And that starts 8 a.m. CET. Rob, please.
Sorry, Gergo, I'm dominating the conversation here. This morning I had a lesson at 8, and I also had one at 8:30, and the material didn't load for the 8:30 lesson. So I was in a bit of a dilemma there, and so I never had really any time to prepare for the 8:30 lesson. And even if I got the message through to them to load the material for 8:30, luckily I could wing it. But
yeah, then you are in a bit of a pickle, we could say, right? And I understand that. Now, one thing is that it's a skill what you will learn actually when you are teaching more and more online, is to divide your attention. So that's why if you have the message ready to be sent at 8 o'clock, then the people at Zendesk, they can reload the content. And then once the content is reloaded, you share your screen. Ooh, okay, what's there? Sharing your attention, right? It's a skill. It comes together with practice. But yes, look, there are in every walk of life, sometimes shit happens, and then we need to deal with it. And that's it. That's one of those things that we need to find the way, sometimes on the fly, to actually deal with the problem. But this is that if you have something to tell Zendesk, have the message ready before 8 o'clock. And once it's 8 o'clock, you just put it in the box, send it, and they read it, and they will assist you. That's the best solution what you can have for this. It happened with me as well. It makes you sweat. It's not nice, but it happens.
I'll think about it because I don't like it. So we have to change definitely the system, because if we are having classes before, I mean, the classes that we have at 9, they're covered with someone there in South America, but still we have to go and cover the 24/7. I'll think about that. The problem was at 8 o'clock this morning. Did you check yesterday? Did we have that problem yesterday?
I checked. No, we had a problem. You know, I've been told that they only load they do an overnight run, and it only sometimes you have to wait till the next morning. So 5:45, it wasn't ready. I didn't know that the desk was unmanned, and of course I'm sending my messages through, but no one's reading them. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I had to start my lesson at 8. Yeah.
And actually, I mean, all the messages are sent, although there's no chat until 8 o'clock. But if you send a message, they should go through all the messages that they have received before. So we would be able to go and act at 8 o'clock. But I'll check it later because I'm not sure about it. So, but definitely we have to do something with it, and we'll have to fix that.
Yeah, we talked about this, Rob, because I heard this issue with your class this morning. And look, I used to have classes at 7 o'clock, and no one was there. I couldn't, so sometimes I had to deal with it. It's kind of like that. But fortunately, Jonathan is here, and let's hope that there's going to be a solution.
I don't mind helping myself, but you're a bit limited as to what material you can put on the screen.
Absolutely,
yeah, so
absolutely. You're right.
That's something, but. And Mari Carmen, please go on and tell us what you want to say, and I will show something to Rob because I actually wanted to do this earlier.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we couldn't find your message because it could be that you open a chat, and if no one is connected, it will not show, and it gives you the opportunity to send an email, which will not appear on the Zendesk. Okay, so that's why we couldn't find your. We
Sorry,
couldn't
maybe
find.
I should have sent an email. Okay.
Well, no. What I'm trying to say is that it would have been seen, right, if it was on if there was somebody on the chat. But if there's no one connected and you open a chat, it will not appear. What will appear is an email if you choose that option. Okay, so
okay, I'll choose that option next time. Make sure to do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That way, we will be able to see it because we actually looked carefully into that and we didn't see any history with your message. That was the problem. Thank you.
And if I may, this is perhaps last for today. This is something, a part of the system that teachers need to be aware of. Is that this is how a class looks like, right? And I suppose there were no activities here for you, Rob, right, or something like that, or
empty. Yeah, even that little blue box that said nothing's loaded or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Now in this case, this only works for after you spend some time at Oxinity and corrected activities and created activities as well. But here you see a plus button. Click on the plus. And then you say find one. This is one option you have.
I know that.
Okay, so the find one, it will lead you to a database of all the activities you created, you amended, and and then it means that you can choose an activity from here, click select, and then it would add it here. So this is adding activity to the class, and by doing this, the activity will appear in the classroom.
Can you hit the plus sign again, Gurga? Just show me that thing again. Hit the plus sign. Yeah, and show me a brand new one, or find one. Sorry.
Okay, that's the thing, and that's the two different.
I just want to see I just want to see the columns. What columns do you have to? Because that doesn't show you the level there, does it?
No.
It doesn't show S1.
You need
or
to
S2,
know it. You need to know it by heart. What's over there? Because those, but those are the activities that you created and then you corrected.
Yeah. Okay.
I work here for 6 years, so this is a very long list.
No, it would be nice if they had another column for the level.
Well, look, what I started to do, and the creation of activities nowadays, what we try to aim for, at least, is that when it's a structure activity, or when it's a vocabulary activity, say it's VOC. So you know that these are vocabs. If it's a structure, it's STR. So you know that these are structure activities. And this is a system that we are implementing to make it easier for you. Yes, this idea of having them separated by levels, it appeared a couple of years ago, but there are so many other things to adjust in the system, and Thomas needs to prioritize these tasks to be done, and this is not so important because there are other things to focus on. But another thing, and I used to do this as well because I've been in the same boat, right? If you click brand new, it will bring on a brand new activity. And basically, if you are really in a jam, then in the morning you receive here you have an empty activity, completely empty. You click here, the pencil on the whole, the pencil on the platform, it always means it's editing. Okay, so actually here you are going to build a new activity. You add the attachments, and you have to build an activity yourself. Sometimes you have 20 minutes for this. Yeah, it's tricky, I know, but it's better than you are one step ahead, right? You have options to work with, Rob. But the best way is really prepare your message, have it ready, and when the time comes, 8 o'clock, then you just send the message and ask for help. Yeah. So I hope this helped. First and foremost, I hope this never happens.
No, you've certainly, you've educated me anyway. You've given me some options. Thank you very much.
Very, very welcome, Rob. Georgina wanted to say something first, and then Mari Carmen.
No, something very romantic, not practical. So I'm just gonna pass it on to Mari Carmen or Christopher, and maybe it could be my closing comment for today.
I just wanted to say something very quickly for Rob. If you take the second option that Gergo just explained to you, please let the Zendesk know so we can include it in the system, so both the students and yourself can see it in the class. Okay, if anybody uploads an activity that they have created or some whatever they decide, the Zendesk needs to know to indicate the system that it's in there, so both teachers and students can see it.
Thank you.
Small detail.
Thanks, Mari Carmen. To really understand this is that in the link, what is sent to the students, and right in the link, it is indicated who is teaching the class and what activities are assigned to that class. So once you add the activities, the link is changed. I don't know if you remember the movie Matrix, but there is a reference to this spot actually in that movie. The link has changed.
Take a different colored pill.
Okay, now we are really swaying away from structure activities, which was the main objective of today. Christopher, you wanted to add something as well as let's look at that. Let's hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can view the level of the activity, I think, if you're adding one. There's a view button beside select.
Yeah, you need to you need to go into the activity. That's true. So if you go here and if you go for view, That's a really bad one. But for a view, this allows you to look at the. You won't see the level. You won't see the level, but you can look into the entire activity, everything that is included. You can open the attachments and everything. So not the level, but you can look at what you are choosing for. Thanks, Christopher, because this is really important. Yes. So you are not really, how to say, choosing off the top of your head, but really like you can check what you are adding. Please make sure that this part of the platform is only used as a last reserve. Okay, because the content of the class generated by the AI, it follows the learning, the progress of the students. This is additional. This is something added to that. And for this, it's very important that this part is used when there is no other way to conduct a dynamic, good class. That's when you resort to this. But otherwise, use the and then new teachers and anyway. So then if you are not satisfied with a okay, when you create something like this, never publish. Okay, it will go into your database. You can keep it if you want, but never click publish, because then you are going to lose it. You're not going to get paid for it, and it's going to cause troubles in the system. So if you're not satisfied with an activity, instead of adding, please click the recycle button. Menu comes up. You can choose what's your problem with the activity. You can even add your own notes why you don't like the activity. And then you hit OK, which I'm not going to do at the moment. So this would be the proper way of changing the content. This is the first line of defense. I don't know how to say it, but this is where you can start adjusting or working with the content that is added to the class, for the class planning. Good. Okay, productive talk again, I think, and thanks for everyone, because we covered some very important parts and thoughts about the platform and working with the platform, which is super important to understand how the platform works. And for example, for Rob, should he have known these things, then the morning of Rob and perhaps also the class experience of the student or students would have been different. And this is really please don't mind me saying that students comes first, teachers come second, but the experience of the teacher, that your teaching experience is nonetheless important, because if you feel good, the students will feel that. Students will see that, and it will come across the audio, the video connection, and eventually in the progress of the students. So it's very important that you are happy when conducting the classes. Like think about your high school days when the teachers came in grumpy, right? And then you had a bad class. So okay, Mari Carmen, last words.
Yeah, just concerning the recycling button, just to, if you were to use it, please use it before the class. If you use it while the class, it won't work. Okay, so it has to be before the class.
Preparation, but we are going to mention that perhaps next week. Thanks, Mari Carmen, because yes, all these things you should work with before the class. That's why it's important that you choose your time wisely. How much time do you need to prepare? When do you prepare? And so on and so on. Good. Then anything else which we can help with? A good joke before we finish for this weekend?
Georgina, you were going to say something.
Oh yeah, the romantic
Okay.
thing. Now let's hear
The
it.
romantic
Yeah, yeah.
moment. I had a romantic moment. I've been listening to you guys for the past weeks, and I think we talk a lot about the pace of the class and how it has to go. And sometimes I have a feeling that you want to know how to do it and you want to know the answers, but it's up to each of us. And instead of knowing, instead of like learning how to do it, we have to experience it. It's an experience. This teaching system is an experience. So we can say a lot of things, but not until you're there teaching in front of like, boom, the real situation where you know where to cut, when to continue, when to go. To be honest, I just recently actually learned how to do this. So I actually felt comfortable doing it after quite a few years now. And sometimes you just got to throw yourself in the empty ocean in front of you and see what happens. And as teachers, I think we're smart. Well, we are problem solvers, and we take many decisions on the spot, and we should be able to do that. And I know that the Auxility interface and structure might be intimidating. That I'm starting to understand. So many buttons, and we want to all do it perfectly. Go, no, just jump in there, and it'll be fine. That's what I wanted to say.
Electro-romantic or techno-romantic, or I don't know how to
Today's
say.
romantic
Cool.
moment, you know. Another day will be another moment, but today this was what happened.
That was a good one. Thanks, Georgina. And as really the last words, what Rob did today is for many things it was important. One, because this is an actual issue that needs to be solved, but also remember that this is the time and the space to share these. So everyone, all teachers here, should you have questions, should you have things that you don't understand, should you have something that doesn't work or didn't work, or you didn't find it well, don't hesitate to come up with it on Fridays, because that's why we come together, to discuss these and find the best way to tackle these problems. Yeah. So everyone, a very good time we spent today here, and thanks very much everyone for so another round of applause for all of us. Thanks Jonathan, and everyone, have a nice weekend, enjoy, rest well, and we see each other next week. Okay.
Thank
I don't know how to close.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye
Gotta
everybody.
go. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you.
Good weekend, everyone.
I can find the off button, yeah.